You're listening to Otto's Powerhouse. You're listening to Otto's Powerhouse.
Motherfuckers and motherfuckerettes, welcome to another episode of Otto's Powerhouse. Well, I hope you're all doing great. I hope you guys checked out my favorite tweets. That episode is already out. I try to put one out every Friday because my AI assistant Friday reads them out loud. So if you're on Twitter, you never know, I might just pick one of your tweets and read them out. So be on the lookout for that. And well, this episode, what am I going to talk about? What caught my attention this week? Well, I am not a big fan of Kanye West, or Ye, whatever he calls himself nowadays. I mean, I've always thought he's a very talented producer, but like I said, I'm not a very big fan of anything he's been doing in the past. So right now, what caught my attention is that he is being sued by a Texas pastor. Yeah, he's being sued for sampling a sermon. So, I don't know, a lot of questions in my head, because let me give you a little background about me. If you know anything about me, you know that I've said this before. I grew up in the church. I was now I looked at it as brainwashed, but I was very, very religious. And all I'm saying is that it is crazy how, I guess I was indoctrinated in a different way, because we were taught that we were supposed to go out there and reach for the lost souls, deliver a message of hope, deliver a message of salvation, tell them that, Jesus loved them and all that stuff, right? So, fast forward, as I got older, I started seeing inadequacies, indiscrepancies, inconsistencies, and even when I was doing the Christian hip hop thing, I remember back in the late 90s, doing, I could have been easily one of the pioneers of Christian hip hop, because I started right around that time when some of the big names in Christian hip hop, air quotes, started. So, but like I said, everything was sampled, and I didn't do much with my first project. So then years later, early 2000s, like 2002, I recorded a CD with no samples, no nothing. But by then, I was already having my issues, my questions, my doubts. I was already thinking I want to bring people into this system. Why? There was just some things that weren't adding up, that I could no longer find comfort in the typical, it is not for us to know here answers. God will someday reveal that to us, once we're in heaven, and all that stuff that normally the answers you get when you stump one of the elders. Well, like I said, for me, what the straw that broke the camel's back was watching Christian evangelicals support Donald Trump. I also found it hilarious because how when he first launched his campaign, he demonized Mexicans. And you had some Mexican pastors, Mexican churches, and I would say Spanish-speaking churches. But a lot of them, here in the Southwest, they're Mexican. But still supporting Donald Trump because he was Republican, which equals conservative. And in their brain, conservative equals Christian. And I was like, am I the only one here that can see that you're supporting something that is nothing Christ-like. Anyway, so like I said, that's my background in the church. So I'm not just somebody that's talking smack about Christianity. Like I said, I grew up in it. I started questioning the system. I started thinking that, okay, this is an indoctrination where we are asked to be submissive. Submit to your pastors. Submit to this. Somebody slaps you on the cheek, turn the other one. And then I started paying attention. Well, who's doing all the slapping? The same people that have been indoctrinating you all this time. So, I said, no, you know what? I do believe there's a higher power. I just do not believe it is the way we've been indoctrinated to believe. I mean, I don't think we just spoofed out of nothing that, oops, an accident and here we are, hairless monkeys running around. No, there has to be another explanation. But anyway, bottom line, putting that aside and returning to Kanye West and this lawsuit. As a Christian, like I said, the goal is to spread the message. So right now, what I am trying to wrap around my head is, why is this pastor in Texas suing Kanye West? I mean, didn't Kanye just give him an even bigger platform than he could ever hope for? I mean, if you're going for the prizes that you hope to collect one day after, you're over there with Jesus, end of the world and all that stuff, because you're no longer going for salvation. You've been saved by Jesus, but now you're going for the prizes, right? Isn't this like one of those items that just might get you a bigger prize because, well, now millions and millions of people will have heard your sermon thanks to that vehicle, that album, Donda, that Kanye West put out? I don't know. Maybe that's just my cynical way of looking at it. But what I'm saying, if I'm saying anything, is that I guess, I don't get it. I mean, why would you sue? I mean, are we copywriting sermons now? Because if you're copywriting something, doesn't that make it a product? And I mean, if it's a product, obviously you're selling something. And I mean, most churches that I know of are registered as non-profit organizations, right? The corporate commission thing, the whole non-profit, tax exempt, all that. So, I don't know. I just found it funny that a pastor in Texas, I believe Bishop David Paul Moten, is suing Kanye West for using one of his sermons in his album. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, I don't get it. Maybe that I don't see the big picture. I mean, what is the point of copywriting sermons? I mean, after all, the word is the word of God. It's not even yours. You're supposed to reach out. You're supposed to use your words and your sermons to reach people for Jesus. But once again, I don't know what's going to happen. More than likely, there's going to be a settlement out of court. I mean, I don't think he wants Kanye to remove that from his album, or I don't know. We'll see. We'll be keeping an eye on this to see how it plays out.
You're listening to Otto's Powerhouse.
All right, moving on. The Supreme Court also this past week, tried to take us back into the dark ages. Yes, women's rights have been, attacked, violated, basically. It's the way I look at it. Because, I mean, the government has no place telling a woman what to do with her body, especially here in America. I mean, where is the outcry right now? All those people that were crying and, making noise because the government's making me wear a mask. My body, my choice. What the fuck happened to that now? And look, I'm not saying that, like I said, abortions are, I don't know, sometimes are necessary evils. I mean, I still have a lot of that religious mentality in me that it's kind of hard to shake off. But I understand now that, if we are truly going to be a free society, we need to have a true separation of church and state. And what I see right now is that we have Christianity just like trying to get in politics. It's been doing it. I think they've been priming us. I mean, people say the U.S. is a Christian nation. We have to bring it back to God. And you know what I say? No, it wasn't. The U.S. was formed by people that came from England, fleeing away from the Church of England, which was another version of the Catholic Church. You know, they weren't happy with the Catholic Church, so they changed. You know, in England, the king made himself head of the church. And people wanted something different. They wanted to be able to worship differently. So they came to America, to the new land, you know. Now, when they came here looking for freedom of religion, what we need to understand is that freedom of religion also implies freedom from religion. And, I mean, we have to keep that in mind. I mean, like I said, I feel they've been priming us up to be controlled by religious. You know what? The movie V for Vendetta is like a warning right there. You see that guy that rises to power, Adam Sandler, played by the late John Hurt, and using religious biblical text, you know, saying that God brought plague to the world and that only because they turned back to God is how, in that case, England was saved. Well, the same thing is happening here in the U.S. You got a lot of these Republican politicians always using the evangelical Christian, you know, base as their, we need to turn this back to God. All these reporters and, you know, not reporters, but what I'm saying is they talk to reporters and they talk about all these visions and dreams that they had from Jesus and how they're supposed to become the next senator because blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just outrageous and ridiculous. I mean, this is not what this country is about. In order for us to be a true free society, we need to truly separate church and state. And that means that no one religion, not Christianity, not Muslims, not Buddhists, not Dudism, like I said, even the dude cannot force you to abide by law. All I'm saying is we need to make it that way. And right now, Republicans have been priming us up. I mean, it wasn't like till 1956 that they put, the government put, in God we trust in our money. And I'll see those are little symbols that they've been putting in there, trying to use Christianity, the evangelical gospel, you know, to control people. Because, I mean, how do you control free people? Simple. You hold their immortal souls for ransom. I mean, it's, well, what the hell, right? So anyway, what I'm saying is, you know, we need to pay attention because, you know, what happened this past week. Bottom line is that women's rights are at stake. And I mean, I can't say that as a man, I can't say that, oh, I understand, because funny enough, there is no laws that say a man can't do certain things. Now, imagine if there was a law that all of a sudden one of these little conservative Republican evangelical politicians came out with the, if you are masturbating, you are killing millions of unborn babies. So anybody caught masturbating will be, you know, it's against the law. Just criminalize it like they're trying to do with abortion. See what I'm saying? So it's important that we stand up and do what's right. So, I don't know. Right now it's in the hands of the politicians, I guess, sadly. Hopefully they'll codify this into law and, well, I don't know. We really need to take a look at what we're doing here with our government, because we cannot have any one specific religion make laws, you know, religiously biased laws. That's my opinion. That's the way I look at things. Well, motherfuckerettes, I hope you guys have a good weekend, good day, whatever it is, whenever it is that you're listening to this. Do something fun. Live your life like today's the last day, because it very well could